Hello parents and guardians, this is Mark Seigel and welcome to the CP Chemistry Back to School Night video. I'm very proud of you because if you are watching this, that means you've already done part 1 of your homework and now you're about to attempt part 2 of your homework all before back to school night, so very nice job. It's been a long time since you've had homework, huh? So I want to get into a lot of things during this course of this video. The reason I'm doing it is because 8 minutes is not enough time on back to school night to get through everything that I really want to get through. And I realized that I've never really talked with parents at back to school night. So this represents the opportunity for me to get all of the garbagey stuff about the website and the class out of the way so we can actually have a conversation during back to school night for those 8 whole minutes that we're going to be together. So let's start and get right into the actual presentation here. So the dry stuff, let's get this out of the way up front. So here's all my contact information. So the best way to get in touch with me is email. I check email all the time. Now, school email, I don't check as often as my personal Gmail accounts because they don't come to my phone. I can check them on my phone, but anytime I get a Gmail, my phone buzzes, much to my wife's dismay. So if you want to get in touch with me, either of those emails are the best ways to get in touch. The seigelchemistry@gmail.com is preferred because I can get that at all times, even in the car, where I'm not going to check my school email more than twice during the course of an evening. Our class website is mass.unco.edu/Moodle. Moodle is a learning management system. It provides a more robust aspect to our class that allow your kids to be able to complete assignments online, engage in discussions online, and everything you need is always on the website. Everything. All my handouts. I am a mostly paperless classroom. All I really print are the quarterlies and individual tests. So everything you're going to need for the class is on Moodle. There is never an example, never the excuse of I forgot it in school or I left it at home, because as you will see, I am the Google guy and I am the tech guy, and everything can be found on the internet somewhere. If you are on Twitter, feel free to tweet to me or follow me at Dare2Chem. I am also, as you can see, the social media guy. So I have an Instagram account, Dare2Chem. My Google Plus page, just hunt for Mark Seigel. I'm on Twitter. I have Facebook, but I don't really share that out too much, so don't check for me there. But pretty much everything else, I've got it. I've got a Snapchat too. I don't use it, but I have it. So feel free to follow the class. Our hashtag is ChemIsAwesome. CHEM is awesome. So, check us out there. And of course, at the bottom is my Google Voice number. Now, my Google Voice number rings both my cell phone and my house phone. So feel free to give me a call. Shoot me a text, doesn't matter. If you just want to check in, see how your kid's doing or what we did today in class, please do not hesitate to reach out and text to me. I can text you back a lot faster than I can tweet or even email to you. So do not feel ashamed, or do not be afraid of calling me or texting me. If you do call, though, just want to let you know that it does ring my house, so my 7-year-old will probably pick up the phone because he's super excited to talk on the phone. He's at that age, and so just ask for Mr. Seigel and he will direct you to the right person, hopefully. So now, what are we going to study this year? Now, CB Chemistry covers basically everything that you would do in a normal college chemistry class. So we cover everything from unit conversions to acids and bases. Covers a lot, so this is what we're going to do. And I'm going to try and make this as interesting as possible. And you're going to see some pictures from the class from last year and the previous years so you can get an idea of the kinds of things that we do. Now, my expectations. Okay, so we talked to chemistry. Now let's talk about the actual class. Now, CP Chemistry is college prep. Now, here's the thing about college prep. In chemistry, in college, it's used as a weeder course. The chemistry in college weeds out all the people who are not strong enough to handle a chemistry degree or med school or a science degree. But yet we teach it to all high school students. So I'm going to do my best to break this down into as easy form as possible for people to understand. We really, because of the quarterlies, will only get down to the most basics. We will not have time to get into the in-depth stuff. We will do a lot of labs. We will do a lot of projects in every marking period. And because I know that not every kid wants to be here. I know a lot of kids are told they have to be here, and some have chosen to be here, and that's great, but probably 90% of everyone who takes a CP chemistry class won't take chemistry in college. So what I'm really focused on are the later things. I want them to see chemistry in the world around them. And as I always use the phrase, look at the world through chemistry colored glasses, so that they look at fireworks and instead of just going ooh and ah, they're going manganese and copper and strontium. And I want them to think critically. I want them to break down a problem and tackle it and know how to maybe not don't have the content to be able to answer a question, but know how to find the answer. Like, go out there and find out what you want to know. One of my biggest philosophies is the dare to fail philosophy, and I set up a learning environment in which students know that this is a comfortable place to make mistakes. I'm going to put up lots of safety nets for them, and they are going to be encouraged to make mistakes. And it doesn't happen often because most kids don't ever want to be wrong. But I'm going to show them that it's okay to be wrong, and we learn more through our mistakes than we ever do through our successes. So we're really going to, I'm going to push them, I'm going to try them. It's going to be tough. It's not easy. My class is very hard. It has nothing to do with the chemistry. It has more to do with the learning, and that is what I will tell them on day one. In my class, learning comes first, then chemistry, then grades. That order. That's my priorities. I want them to learn something from my class. I want them to walk away better people, with better skills and a better way to view the world, and it has nothing to do with chemistry. The chemistry will all get folded in when it's all done. And then the last thing, and I'm most focused on, is developing a love of science again. My 7-year-old loves experiments. My 4-year-old turns to me all the time. Every time I finish one of my Monster energy drinks and I have an empty can, he goes, "Daddy, can we do experiment?" And I said, "No, bud, I'm not going to do an experiment with my can today." So like the kids are at that age are loving science. Yet they get to high school and all of a sudden, ugh, science. So I want to bring back that love of science again, and we're going to do it in a lot of different ways throughout the year. So in my class, everything is different. That's pretty much a fact, and the kids get to understand that real fast. We use personal whiteboards in the class. Like I said, am about 80% paperless. I try to keep the kids as paperless as possible. Yeah, they can keep paper notebooks and they can still use paper if they want to, but I try to encourage them not to. So we use personal whiteboards to do our homework on. When we do labs, everything's going to be recorded in Google Drive on a Chromebook, and they're going to write down they're going to set up their data table and their observations and their calculations directly onto the lab bench using neon markers. I also love to use food in as many labs as possible. So this is our M&M isotope lab, where we talk about isotopes and atoms and M&Ms and how they're the exact same thing because they have the same basic makeup. And the beauty of food labs are the kids get excited because there's food. So they're more attentive to what they're doing, but also at the end, they get to eat it, and that's the best part. So when we do stoichiometry and chemical reactions, we will do s'mores. When we do heat, we're going to burn Doritos. When we do acids and bases, we're going to use cabbage to make our own indicators. So I'm going to use food throughout the year in as many different things as I can. And of course, for the most part, you get to eat it when you're all done. Okay? Some students don't like to take notes in notebooks. Some students like to do things just a little bit differently, and that's perfectly fine. So this is Emily, and Emily took notes in class on the whiteboards, and you can see her cell phone. She then took her cell phone and took pictures of the notes so she'd have them for later. Some students store them in Google Drive. Some just keep them on their phone because they can flip through their notes on their phone, and they don't have to carry a notebook around with them. And this is a very common sight in my class. Students sitting in bungee chairs, nice and comfortable, with their cell phone in one spot and their Chromebook doing other things. We're going to multitask. We're going to collaborate. We're not going to just collaborate within the class or within Middletown. We're actually going to collaborate with the world. I'm setting up our classroom to have global connections as much as possible. We're going to connect with schools in Indiana and schools in New Zealand. I mean, it's going to be all over the place. We're going to be part of the connected classrooms and mystery Skype. So randomly, we will be set up to Skype with a class anywhere in the world. We won't even know who it's with. So I want to see, the students need to see that the world is bigger than just Middletown. They need to know that there's a global environment that they can impact very quickly. My students take global selfies. So this was for NASA, and this picture ended up on NASA's website from Middletown, New Jersey. And we're out there and we're looking at the world differently. We're getting excited about school and we're getting excited about learning. And we're going to be featured in places. So these are articles and books that were written with my class about this classroom. So the flipped out one is from Spirit Airlines, which is, I'm sorry, Spirit Magazine, which is Southwest Airlines in-flight magazine. 500,000 people read this article about my classroom, about the chemistry classroom in Middletown South. Now, I wrote a chapter for this book called Flipping 2.0 about how to flip your classroom, all about science. And I talked about the great things that your kids, our kids, my kids are doing on a daily basis. We are beta testers for software companies. So from time to time, software companies are going to contact us and say, hey, I've got this cool thing. Would you like to try this out? And we're going to get new technology, and your kids are going to be guinea pigs. That's why learning is first in my classroom, because that has nothing to do with the content. I want them to be able to take the skills that they learn in my room and apply it to any room or any environment that they happen to enter. So that's the learning. So now those are my ideal goals. Now, who am I? Now you're talking like, okay, there's this voice talking to me. I want to know who this guy is. So here's the dry stuff. This is my 15th year as an educator. I say educator and not teacher because educators always are learning at the same time as they are teaching, and that's my real focus. This will be my 4th year in Middletown South and part of the Mid-South Nation. It's a wonderful environment in Middletown. They've got great parents, great community, great staff, great students. The whole place is just a fantastic place to work. I've wanted to be a teacher since I was 8 years old, and so me coming to school every day is basically me fulfilling my dream every single day. So, but when I was in high school, my teacher said, don't major in education. Major in something that you can fall back on just in case you don't like it. So I got a degree in chemistry from Case Western Reserve University and a minor in secondary education. But I had my first teaching job before I even graduated college. So it was the best feeling to be able to come back for graduation and say, I've got a job, I don't have to worry come September. A few years ago, I got a master's degree in educational leadership from Kane. I am the Relay for Life advisor for South, and as you just saw from our global selfie, I am also the TED Ed Club advisor. Now, our TED Ed Club is one of only 150 clubs in the world, so we have a very unique opportunity to be part of something very huge. But that's all fine and dandy, but who am I really? Well, number one is, like I said, I'm a learner as much as as a teacher. So this past summer, I got invited to attend the Google Teacher Academy. Yes, I am Mr. Google in the school. I Google everything. So I have Google everything. You can even see I'm wearing my Google tie in the picture. So, and it's crooked, I just noticed. Okay, maybe I can Photoshop that. So 65 educators from all over North America were invited to go to Google headquarters in Mountain View, California, and we spent 2 days having our minds blown about all the amazing things that we can do. And I'm going to start using things. Your kids will come back first day of school. We're using Google on the first day of school and using Google tools and Chromebooks, and I'm going to show them that school is different. But it was fantastic talking with people all over the country. We're collaborating ideas, creating action plans. It was wonderful. But in reality, this is what I really am. These are my boys, Alex and Evan. Alex is in green. He's 7. He's starting 2nd grade in September, and Evan starts his actual last year of preschool, and he's 4. This was their souvenir from Google. I bought them Android, like the operating system for phones, superhero outfits in the Google store. So they loved it. They're posing as superheroes in our 1964 kitchen. My wife drags us to all sorts of fun experiences. This was us at Bubble Palooza. So it's like the color run, but instead it was bubbles, and we walked out of there looking like that. This past summer, I had a chance to speak in Buffalo, and on our way back we stopped at the Corning Museum of Glass, and my boys got to do glass blowing, like actually right there in there making their own glass blowing sculptures, and got to take the sculptures home. They're sitting on our mantle right now. So it was we are all about experiences, because again, they make you better people. Knowledge only goes so far, but experiences and skills can take you anywhere. I'm also the guy when it comes to school who creates Postit note walls to give encouragement to people. So these are the remnants of a Postit note wall that I did outside the cafeteria, just saying, hey, you're awesome, you're beautiful, have a great day. You may have heard I'm the guy who taped Mr. Rinella to the wall because we raised $300 for Relay for Life and cancer research. And you know what? He had a great time being suspended a foot and a half off the wall in duct tape. So I'm a little bit of crazy. I'm a little bit weird. I'm a little bit of everything. I'm zany, and I come up with these awesome ideas, and hopefully we have a good time doing them. Outside my door, as you see when you come to back to school night, I have my Words of Awesome board, and there kids walk down the hall with their face in their phones or looking down at their shoes. Even when they are with their friends, they're not looking up. So I put this board high. You can see that it's up off the corner of my door, and I want people to look up and see great quotes that inspire me, that make me look at the world differently, that excite me, that energize me. And sometimes they're just weird or silly or whatever they are, or sometimes I see a quote and I just get silly about it, and I said that this is the opportunity to make people smile and laugh, and that's kind of my goal. As part of the TED Ed Club, we all have to have an idea that we want to pursue. So I think the word awesome isn't used enough. I think, and it's especially not used enough when we're talking about ourselves. So I want to get people to see the awesome that is around them. This yellow poster card has my idea that I want to pursue, and this is my ongoing goal, is to just increase the amount of awesome. It's not used enough. We need to talk about what we do. We need to support what we do. We need to promote the awesome that's in others. And that's kind of the focus of what I do on a daily basis. You'll see like my Instagram account will be posting pictures of your kids' work all the time, because what they're going to do is awesome. That's why our hashtag is ChemIsAwesome. Words of awesome, because things are awesome and we just need to appreciate it more. At this point, you probably have tons of questions. I can answer them, but this is a video, so it's not going to really help if you ask them here. So bring them to back to school night, text them to me, tweet them to me, email them to me, give us something to talk about. Come ready to do some awesome things on back to school night. I'll have a really cool demo prepped for you. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in September for back to school night.